Yo, what's going on everybody? It's JellyJNBA back with another video, and in today's video I plan on doing something very controversial. I think something you guys have probably seen on YouTube, and that is ranking all 30 starting point guards in the NBA. Now I plan to do this across all 5 positions just to, get this out there and see what you guys think of it, see what you think of my opinion. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be doing it in a TierMaker that I made. I'll drop the link to that in the description below, and also I'll drop Sporting Logically, my guy Tucker. I'll drop his channel link in the description below. But before we start, thank you guys for your continued support on this channel. It means the world to me. And if you're new here and enjoy the NBA, consider subscribing. I upload basically every day. Alright guys, so here we are. We're at the TierMaker. I actually made this TierMaker myself, so I will put it in the channel link below for you guys. If you want to do it yourselves, you can go ahead. Before we start, I just want to break down what each of these means, at least to me, when I was putting guys in. So bomb obviously is somebody that I think doesn't deserve minutes. Starter was weird for me. I kind of have like a high-end starter and a low-end starter closer to bum. Same thing with all-star. I kind of have a high-end all-star closer to all-NBA, and then a low-end all-star closer to starter, you'll see. And then all-NBA and superstar, obviously, 2 steps above the rest of these tiers, as the guys that are really known for being good at their position. And then superstar is just flat out, can change the game and is a generational player. So we're going to start with Devontae Graham. Now I'm not going to spend too much time on a lot of these guys that just go in starter and all-star, but Graham is weird because he's having a good year in Charlotte. He's in the race for most improved. I'm gonna go ahead and throw him in all-star. Now he'll probably end up going back here towards the back end of all-star, the low end, just because there's 2 things I really don't like about him. 1, his efficiency, and 2, he's not too much, like, he doesn't impact much for your team, outside of putting up, good scoring numbers. He really doesn't do much else. All right, moving on to Damian Lillard. He's gonna be all NBA for me. I'm a huge Dame guy. A lot of people get caught up in this narrative that Dame, can't get it done in the playoffs. Well, he put that to rest last season, that's for sure. So he's definitely in the all-NBA tier for me. Mike Conley, it's a weird one. If I did this 2 years ago, he'd probably be an all-star to all-NBA. He was that good and that underrated in my opinion. But now, in 2020 on the Utah Jazz, he's a bum. Now I'm not gonna put him at bum. Because I don't want to disrespect him like that, knowing what he was before. But he's really struggled this year, so go ahead and throw him in starter. Kobe White, starter. I like Kobe White a lot. Once he finally got promoted to starter, right before the season canceled, he really started putting up good numbers. I like him a lot. I think he can grow into becoming an all-star, but right now I'll go starter. All right, Chris Paul's what I'm going to take my time on. A lot of some people may slander me for this, whatever it is. I'm putting Chris Paul in all-NBA. Reason why is because, when he was traded to OKC, everybody wrote him off. Oh, he's done. He's going to a bad team. Everybody thought OKC was going to be bad. He is, outside of Billy Donovan, the number 2 reason why this team is, is a playoff contender. He's a great leader for the young guys. He really is a great mentor to Shai and Schroeder, as they're both having career years. So I'm putting in that tier just because of that. Now, Pat Beverly, if he wasn't an absolute dog on defense, he would 1000% be a bum. He'll be a starter though. Trae Young, another one I'm going to take my time on. It was between all-star and all-NBA for me. I like Trae a lot. I'm a huge fan, but at the end of the day, we all know his defense is what is going to slow him down. I'm very interested on what Atlanta builds around him with. They seem to at least know the direction they're going in with him, with having wing guys like DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish to defend. Maybe that's something I can make a video on. If you guys want to see that, let me know in the comment section below. But as of right now, Trae Young is an all-star. Kendrick Nunn's going into starter. He's a solid starter. He's probably going to finish top 3 in rookie of the year this year. He's had a very good season for being an undrafted rookie. Ja Morant. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put him in All-Star here. I think if he keeps progressing and he keeps pushing Memphis, you know, nobody expected Memphis to be, you know, a playoff team this year, let alone, you know, in the 8th seed. And, you know, I think if everything keeps going right, you know, he could jump up here. But as of right now, he's an All-Star as well. D'Lo is probably a lower end All-Star for me right now, just because I don't love him on defense. I really don't. And I don't love his playmaking as a, you know, true point guard. It'll be interesting to see what he does with him and Cat a full season next year. I'm not really sure about the Timberwolves future. That's another thing I can do a video on. Fultz, I'm not ready to give up on you yet, baby. You'll go into starter. Don't like Garland, but I don't like putting him at bum right here just because I haven't seen enough. Two things I don't like about Garland. One, I don't like the situation with Sexton. And two, I don't like him because of his size. I feel like, you know, he's kind of built like Trey. I feel like he's going to get picked on a lot. And if Cleveland really wants to run this small backcourt with him and Sexton, I think that can be a problem defensively. All right, D Rose. I'm going to go ahead and put him in starter. He's really bounced his career back to what it was. You know, if this was 2 years ago, I'd probably go ahead and put him in bum. But he's really bounced back from everything that he's been through, and definitely commend him for that. Dejounte Murray. This is interesting. I'll go ahead and put him in starter. I don't think he's All-Star yet. I'm just waiting for him to break out. I feel like the last 3 seasons, people have been saying, oh, he's going to break out. Just wait on it. Just wait on it. Like Spurs fans have been telling me, oh, just wait. Like, he's coming. I don't see him. I don't see it yet. So he's going to land in starter for me for that. All right, that explains that. That explains that. Kemba. I'm gonna go ahead and put him in All-Star. Probably the highest tier All-Star we have right here out of everybody in this tier so far. So I'll put him there. I just don't think he's ready to go into the All-NBA section yet. Lonzo Ball, another interesting one. You know, despite his ability to not really shoot that well, although he has improved this season, I feel like he just does too much for his team outside of whether it's, you know, defending, you know, playmaking. So I think he's a very high quality starter and has a chance to move up to All-Star next year if he keeps improving. Another player that you know has one huge flaw but impacts the game in multiple other aspects is Ben Simmons. Now for me, you know, as a Sixers fan, it was between All-Star and All-NBA. I'm gonna go ahead and throw him in All-NBA just because of the fact that he's a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He's only getting better on that end, and he's, you know, one of the best playmakers in all basketball. So I'll go ahead and throw him in there. You know, just please Benny, just work on that jump shot, please. All right, Brogdon. He's probably the lowest end All-Star that we have to this point. I really like what he's shown in Indiana, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw him in there. No explanation needed. Bledsoe. I think he's, once again, like, he's that real high quality starter, low end All-Star. I put him in starter just because I feel like the situation he's in right now really benefits him. Being in Milwaukee, playing alongside Giannis, with a really good coach, a really good team around him, I feel like, you know, has really boosted him up, and he does a lot for that team and is a big reason for their success. Once again, no explanation needed. Steph and LeBron are the only 2 superstars on this list. Luka. Now, he's probably, you know, it was between these 2 for me. It was superstar, All-NBA. You know, when I put him up here, I was like, well, he's not really on these 2 guys' level yet, so I put him down here in All-NBA. I think, just like John Morant, if everything keeps going well, he's trending up. This kid's gonna be an MVP candidate for the next 5 to 10 years. He's absolutely insane. Russ, I'm gonna go All-NBA just because, you know, same thing with Kemba. He's better than everybody down below him, so I figured I'll put him up here with Ben and Chris. Kyrie. Now, this one was really hard for me. I'm not the biggest Kyrie fan, but just like Russ, with where I have Russ, Kyrie is better than everybody in this row, so I had to put him up here. Kyle Lowry. I think I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. I put Kyle Lowry in All-NBA as well. I think he's one of the smartest defenders in the NBA, and he's outside of Nick Nurse, he's the second biggest reason for why Toronto has sustained their success with the loss of Kawhi Leonard. I think, you know, just like Chris Paul, he's a great leader for the young guys and really has helped, you know, the undrafted players and players like Pascal, you know, hadn't really developed in his first few seasons, has really helped them come along. Jamal Murray, don't love him, don't hate him. He probably could be a high quality starter, but you know, it's one of those things where you look at this row and Jamal Murray's better than everybody on that row, so I'll go ahead and throw him in All-Star. John Wall, like Derrick Rose, if this was 2 years ago, he'd be up here in All-NBA with these guys, but coming off an Achilles injury and multiple other injuries, I'll put John Wall in All-Star, but he most definitely is a higher tier All-Star if he comes back to what he was. And De'Aaron Fox, now this one is probably the best for last. I'm a huge De'Aaron Fox fan, low-key. I thought it was between All-NBA and All-Star. Now I looked up here and I was like, well, De'Aaron Fox is really, you know, not really comparable to these guys yet. I think he's the second best All-Star in this tier. If I were to rank them, I would probably go like that. Yeah, that looks good. That's how I'd rank the All-Stars. But yeah, so I think if he wasn't on the Kings and he had a better coach, I think he could definitely be trending up like this. He's gotten better every year that he's been in the league, and you know, and I'm a huge fan of his, so that's why I threw him in there. And that's the video, guys. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe. Like I said in the beginning, I plan on uploading these for every position, so stay tuned for more of those in the future. And let me know in the comment section below if I got anything wrong. Let me know.